Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Last time, we learned how Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam began inviting his family and closest friends to Islam. Then came a very special moment. The Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam received a new command from Allah. Now, it's time to call everyone to Islam. So, what did the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam do? He climbed Mount Abu Qubais, a tall mountain in Mecca, and began calling out loudly, "O people of Mecca, come close. I have something important to tell you." The people of Mecca were curious. What is he calling us for? They wondered. One by one, they gathered until a large crowd stood below, all eyes looking up at the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Then Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam began telling them about Islam. But before he could finish, someone interrupted him. Guess who? It was Abu Lahab, the Prophet's uncle. He shouted angrily, "May you be ruined! Did you really call us here just for this?" He told everyone to leave and ignore the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Sadly, many people listened to Abu Lahab and walked away. Then Allah revealed powerful verses from the Quran, Surah Al-Masad. May the hands of Abu Lahab be ruined, and ruined is he. But Abu Lahab wasn't the only one who heard the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. His wife also behaved in a very cruel way. She would ask people, which road did Muhammad take? Then she would go ahead of him and throw sharp thorns to hurt his feet. So Allah mentioned here in the Quran as well. And his wife as well, the carrier of firewood. Around her neck is a rope of twisted fiber. This means she will be punished in the hereafter for harming the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. But our beloved Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam didn't give up. He invited all his relatives to a special meal at his home. But guess what happened? Abu Lahab spoke again in a rude and disrespectful way. He said, "If you brought us here to speak about your religion, then don't say a word to me." So the Prophet ﷺ stayed quiet that day. But he never gave up. He invited his family again, this time without Abu Lahab. He prepared a big meal, and after everyone ate, the Prophet ﷺ kindly spoke to them about Islam. One by one, his words were full of love, wisdom, and truth. And some of them believed. One of the first to accept Islam was Lady Safiya, the Prophet's kind aunt. As days passed, Islam began to shine in Mecca. And guess who were the first to believe? Not the rich, not the powerful, but the poor and weak, those with kind hearts and open minds. The leaders of Quraysh were angry. They didn't like what they saw. So they went to Abu Talib, the Prophet's uncle, and complained, "Your nephew insults our idols. Stop him, or stop protecting him." Abu Talib spoke to the Prophet ﷺ, but the Prophet ﷺ stood firm and replied, "Oh my uncle, if they placed the sun in my right hand and the moon in my left and asked me to stop this message, I would never stop until Allah decides between me and them." Abu Talib was amazed by his nephew's courage and said, "I will never leave you. I will always protect you." So Quraysh tried a new plan. They sent a wise man called Al-Walid ibn al-Mughira to speak with the Prophet ﷺ. He tried to tempt him with riches and power. "If you want money, we will make you the richest man in Mecca. If you want power, we will make you our king. Just stop calling people to Islam." The Prophet ﷺ listened quietly. Then he responded, not with his own words, but with verses from the Quran. Al-Walid was shocked He had never heard words so beautiful and powerful. Meanwhile, all the leaders of Mecca were waiting in a place called Dar al-Nadwa. They hoped Al-Walid would return and say he gave up, he will stop. But something very different was about to happen. To find out what happened next, stay tuned for the next episode of Muhammad Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam.
صلوا عليه أفضل صلاة صلوا ويزيد الشوق صلاة لحبيبي بيرد السلام والمولى بيزيد الصلاة صلوا عليه أفضل صلاة صلوا ويزيد الشوق صلاة لحبيبي بيرد السلام والمولى بيزيد الصلاة.